Hello and welcome to another review by me, Tubbyengineer. Now today I'm going to be reviewing this, which is the Mark Bugs Gem Atomiser. Now I've always wanted something by Mark Bugs, so when this came out I ran out, came to the credit card and bought this. So what we're going to do is, well, the usual stuff. I'll take you in for the close-ups, we'll have a look at it, and then I'll talk a bit more about it. Okay, so this is the Mark Bugs Gem Atomiser. Now, as with everything Mark Bugs makes, it comes in this little metal tin. So I shall open that up, pop the lid to one side. Inside the box we have a metal tank section, spare glass tank, silver plated brass pin for the 510 connection, a 21mm ring, a dry burning ring, 22mm ring and a 510 base, and we also have the atomizer itself. We'll take all the bits we need out of the box. There we go, and I'll pop the box to one side. So this is the Gem Atomizer itself. Now, as you can see, Pyrex tank, Mark Bugs' usual media blasted finish, has its own matching drip tip. It's currently set up with a hybrid connection for Mark Bugs' mods. Right, so we'll go up and have a look at it in a bit more detail. Okay, so here we've got all the individual parts of the atomizer. I'll just run through them quickly and name them, and then I'll build the atomizer up in sections and explain each individual part as we go along. So here's the main core section of the atomizer with the airflow base, central chimney, the glass tank section, tank top cap, the main top cap with its matching 510 drip tip, airflow ring, hybrid atomizer connection, build deck, 510 connection plate and the 510 connection pin, 21mm beauty ring, 22mm beauty ring, and this over here, which is it's being called the dry burning ring. And I'll explain how all these bits work together as we build up the atomizer. Okay, so these are the four components of the tank section of the atomizer. I'll build it up now and show you how it goes together. It's really very simple. Take your main base, glass tank section, and the glass tank section just push fits into place. Tank top section. Now when you put this tank top section on, watch out for this central O-ring coming loose. Press the top section into place. Make sure the O-ring is pushed down slightly, and then you can screw on the top cap with the 510 drip tip. And that's the tank section of the atomizer built up. Okay, so this is the 510 base and its two beauty rings. I'll just show you how it goes together, simplicity itself. 510 base and either the 21mm 22mm beauty rings. Now I'm going to be putting mine on an iStick Mini, sorry, not an iStick Mini, an SX Mini M class. So I will use the 22mm ring. Right, so now I'm going to show you how the airflow ring and base fit onto the atomizer. So on the base of the atomizer there is a very small groove just there, and on the airflow ring there is a tiny little pin just about visible there. That pin locates into the groove and creates the 90-degree stop for the airflow ring. To fit the base, it just slides in, but there is also a little tiny pin here on the base of the atomizer and a little notch on the build deck. Line the two up and slide it in. Finally, you've got the base plate for when you use it as a hybrid connection. Simply screw that on and the atomizer is set up for a hybrid connection. Okay, so I'll show you now how you convert the atomizer from hybrid to 510 connection. First of all, remove the hybrid base plate. Then you need to remove this center screw. Put that to one side. Replace the standard center screw with the longer 510 one. Now there's a little O-ring in there that actually holds that screw in place a bit. Screw it down. Make sure your airflow ring is on correctly and fit the 510 base plate. Now you'll notice there that the center pin doesn't protrude enough. All you need to do is unscrew it till you're happy with how much it does protrude. And that's it, device converted from hybrid to 510. Right, so now I'll show you how to prepare for a build. You need to remove the ring, because it will give you grief if you don't. Just makes it difficult to unscrew this 510 base plate. Unscrew the 510 base plate and remove the build deck. Pop your tank section to one side. Drop the build deck into the 510 plate. Take the dry burning ring and screw it into the base plate. Right, so I've popped a build in this, and it's just a straightforward microcoil 2.5mm in a diameter of nickel, and I'm going to wick it with a bit of Muji. Now I just want to show you the way this is wicked, because I've discovered that if you don't wick it correctly with very thin juices, sort of 70–80% PG, you will get a bit of leaking when you first fill it. So thread the Muji through. And then you actually need to cut it about 3 millimeters or so past the edge of the deck. Now I'm going to use Mr. Kraken's shade with this again, because it's my favourite liquid. And I'm going to pop a bit on each end. Get the cotton a bit wet. And then you just need to tuck the cotton into the ends of the little channels. Now, occasionally I feel I leave a little too much cotton, so I might trim that back a bit. There. So you just want your cotton gently tucked into the sides. And that will stop any chances of leaking. Right, so we've got the whipped base, 510 connector, and atomizer. So all you need to do now is slide the base section that you've whipped and primed into the base section, making sure you locate it on the pin. Screw on the 510 base and the beauty ring of your choice, and you're ready to fill. Now, to fill the atomizer, you need to close the airflow. Make sure your airflow is closed over. Remove the cap and simply pour your e-liquid in through the top hole. Now you need to fill it till it's about 95% full, I'd say. Just leave a little tiny gap at the top. Close the airflow control, close the lid mostly down, and then tighten. When you open it up, that should be it. Right, well that's the gem in close-up. So what do I think? Well, this device it's a very high quality piece. Threads are silky smooth. Everything is finished to a very high standard. It's all checked, all the parts fit perfectly well. And it's, personally, I think it's worth every penny. Now, using it has taken a little getting used to, because it's got such a tiny chamber on it that I've had to reduce my temperatures quite a lot. I've gone from 360 down to sort of 310. The very small build area means you can't have long nickel coils in it. Fortunately, the design of the build deck also means that you can put in a 0.25mm Canthal microcoil, 8 wraps, and it supports it perfectly well. You can wick it without any problems. The coils don't deform because they are well supported and in a very small area. Flavour. Now, just let me take a vape a second. Flavour. I've only had this a few days and I'm still struggling slightly with just getting the wicking balance right. I've not had any major problems with it. It's just getting the balance exactly as I like it. But that said, when I do get the balance just right, I'm getting flavour that's as good as anything I get from my heron. Now, considering that I thought herons were the final word, the bee's knees in atomizers, personally, I think this one is equal to or a very, very close second to a heron. Looks-wise, personally, I think it has the heron beaten. It's also got the added advantage of being smaller. Now, with the glass tank on here, it holds about 4 millilitres of juice. With the stainless steel tank section on, it holds close on to 5, which is easily as much as a heron. The holes for wicking are quite small, so you may struggle with high VG juices. That said, I've also had minor problems wicking with very thin juices, sort of at 80% PG. That was, to be honest, user error. I should have read the manual and folded the ends of the wick down as I showed in the video there. Previous times I hadn't folded the wicks down, I just trimmed them short, and when you filled it you were getting a bit of flooding. Other than that, I'm loving this. If you can afford one, because they aren't cheap, they're a little bit more than a heron. I think mine came to £118 UK, sterling. But that did include free shipping. And shipping was the usual Mark Bugs thing. He sent it by UPS. I ordered it late Sunday night. It arrived Tuesday. So you can't get any better than that. You can also get these from a couple of other sites. I think Cloud9 are carrying them, and I think there's 1 or 2 stores in the States, but you can get them delivered anywhere in the world from Mark Bug's own website. Well, that's it for the gem. I've been Tubbyengineer. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.